Welcome to Bold Thinking, entrepreneurial stories honestly told. In a world full of chaos, this is a podcast about the people making positive change in the world, using bold thinking to transform businesses and themselves. Today, I'm speaking to Sam Jacobs, architect and trustee of Future Dreams, a charity that funds breast cancer research, awareness and support. Sam is also a great friend who I got to know when I first got involved with the Future Dreams charity about 6 or 7 years ago. So welcome, Sam, and thanks for joining us. Really excited to talk to you today.
Me too.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Yeah, we're all happy in my home today, which is unusual when it's a day of homeschooling as well. But I feel good today, and I'm really excited to be chatting to you today, Jules. I like chatting to you every day, but this is extra special.
I do spend a lot of time talking to Sam about the charity because it's absolutely core to my heart, Future Dreams. So, Sam, tell us a little bit about your career and how you came to be a trustee of Future Dreams.
So, I have two careers. I trained as an architect, qualified at the Royal College of Art, and went on to a very exciting architectural career, which I loved and I do still love. And it's been an amazing journey because I was working for a practice and then had some kids and decided to go freelance and work with lots of other kind of architects on smaller projects, which has been really exciting. During my architectural journey, alongside my very close friend Danielle, who's was a founder of Future Dreams, we both were kind of trundling through life together since school. And she got diagnosed very young with breast cancer, which was really arresting. But her mother had it while she was younger. And I helped her through her journey of the best support you can do as a mate. And then after she went through all her chemo and surgery and treatment, she wanted to do an event with her mum, both breast cancer survivors, and they pulled in their friends and family. And that was kind of where my charity journey began with Danielle and Sylvie, and has never stopped, that was 12 years ago. So I've kind of I haven't been practicing as an independent architect for about 3 years now, but I have quite a strong architectural role within the charity, which we can go on to chat about. But as you know, Julia, the sad twist to the tale is Danielle and Sylvie's breast cancer's returned, and unfortunately they're no longer with us. So I work with Danielle's family and friends and new people who have come along the journey, kind of continuing their legacy. And the charity has grown enormously. And they started with 100 quid in the bank. And to date, we've raised 6.5 million. And we will continue their legacy and work very closely with the family.
Wow, it's amazing. It's an amazing story. Absolutely love listening to it. Sam, what does bold thinking mean to you?
I think bold thinking for me is having the kind of confidence and the belief that if you try something, is to grasp it. You know, you're going to have bumps along the way. I really do live by Brené Brown's quote of, well, it's actually Theodore Roosevelt, of daring greatly, and the kind of vulnerability that brings. And I think that kind of really does shape you as a person. I was brought up by a very, very strong single mum, and she had a career in the construction industry. And as a woman in the 60s, 70s and 80s, that was an unusual position to be in. And she brought my brother and I up, and she was fearless and is still fearless at 86. And I think she's just given me a belief system that to feel bold and to go for something that fills a burning passion in you. And also and you'll get this, Jules, it's design training. You're educated in such a different way as a designer, as an artist, to think in such a lateral way, which enables you to be a bold thinker. Because I think you come to a subject from lots of different directions, which you definitely do. When we have our meetings and our brainstorms, we think in a similar way. And I'm sure it's because of our design training, which is, I think, art school and design school is the best education in the world for anyone.
I think it's quite an innovative mindset, isn't it? Which anything is possible. And actually, I think, working with a charity, it's pretty fearless and, really exploratory. And the benefits of that have been, like you said, the huge amounts of money, earned, which genuinely really, really help. What kind of things have you had to do over the last year to adapt? Obviously, with all the pandemic, Future Dreams was massively a big fundraiser at events and things like that. And obviously, that's really sort of closed down in the last year, and this year is going to be difficult. So what things have you done as a charity to adapt?
I think we've completely evolved and grown new arms and legs as a charity. And it started immediately in March last year, just after our International Women's Day event. We went into lockdown 2 weeks after. We had an amazing event with Victoria Derbyshire with a panel of fantastic women from Prue Leith, Amanda Mealing and Faye Ripley. And we went into lockdown after that with some fundraising money, directly after that event, because we do physical events and we're quite, we do unusual physical events that people want to attend. But really it started with a breast care nurse phoning me, alarmed by the amount of new patients coming through her doors because she was in a COVID-free hospital and she was having to deal with 5 or 6 NHS trusts of women coming in for all different surgeries, offered different surgeries because reconstruction wasn't an option. All procurement was racked up because of PPE. And what could Future Dreams do? How could we help her? How could we get her messaging and voice into the hands of all these women that she didn't have enough time to spend with? And so we developed this kind of care package strategy, as well as sending in as many post-surgery bras and comfies, and no one could, use the cold cap. So headscarves were key and drain bags. And we just ended up becoming kind of on the front line crutch to the breast care nurses and the oncologists who were all being redeployed. And sadly, this went on for months and months. And then we developed a much bigger appeal. Well, it's not an appeal, but it will become an appeal of individual care packages for women coming into the hospitals on their own because family and friends weren't allowed to accompany them for appointments or for their treatment. So giving them some, bags of love with the Future Dreams magazine and a snack and a puzzle book and some hand cream, and just knowing that they're not alone and just filling that bag with some company for them. And that's continued. I think we've delivered over 5,000 in 2020, but I'm having conversations now, Julia, which are even more frightening than last year, because there are no breast care nurses on a lot of the wards and they're all being redeployed, the breast cancer patients. So we're back again. We're delivering all the same needed products to kind of help support the breast care nurses and fundamentally help support the patients. So that's where we changed. We were kind of a fundraising charity, but we've become very much a service as well. And we do a helpline called Ask Amanda. She's a breast cancer survivor, and she's been speaking to numerous women via WhatsApp, privately, FaceTime, trying to kind of help them navigate a very isolating journey, which is already an isolating journey pre-pandemic. So there's a lot of changes in Future Dreams in 2020 and 2021.
It's pretty amazing. I was sort of in and out of St. George's with a similar issue, as we know, and my consultant, Mr. Sharma, who's my hero, was just saying what a massive impact those bags had, on just really showing people cared. It's almost sort of got a little bit lost in this whole pandemic, which has been obviously on so many levels really difficult. But obviously going through cancer at the same time as a pandemic is just creates such fear. And I think showing such amazing kindness is absolutely, for me has been amazing. And I know the consultants and the nurses of George's have been incredibly touched by that kindness. So I've got to ask you, one of my favourite things that the charity are doing at the moment is, I think we both know, but what is your boldest idea? Because we've got to talk about that because it's such positivity and I can't wait for it to open.
So so we have these bold ideas. And one, it kind of came from conversations with Danielle very early on. Danielle had a lot of friends and family supporting her, but she still felt very responsible talking about her darkest thoughts and fears. And also, they weren't going through breast cancer treatment like she was, and she wanted to have a place to go where she could normalize and she could feel herself and say the things she wanted to. So, as you know, Julia, but it's nice to share that we fund secondary breast cancer research. That's one of our big bold ideas as well. And that very much came from Danielle and Sylvie because that's what affected them. And it's something that we feel very passionate about. But we also decided that we wanted to work with and collaborate with another breast cancer charity who provide an incredible support service, which is Breast Cancer Haven. And they lost their site. They lost their lease. Well, their lease ran out in Fulham. So Future Dreams' bold idea was, okay, we're going to relocate you, and we want to relocate you to the best location possible in London. And we found it. And the building is opposite King's Cross Station. It's 6,000 square foot. We've been working on it for 4 years. We've raised £1 million. It's on site at the moment. Obviously, the pandemic has massively impacted completion dates, but we're well on our way. And it must be the right thing to be doing because Danielle and Sylvie's first ever fundraising event was in a theatre. And they also had a dance school together. And the building that came on the market for us to go for was an old theatre that was also a dance school. So there's all these synergies and there's an amazing history to the building. And also to be collaborating with Breast Cancer Haven, knowing that they are going to fill that building with all elements that are going to support those touched by breast cancer, not just the patients, but the families, body confidence workshops and counselling and touch therapies and nutrition, all elements under one roof in a location that a lot of people can get to, whether they live in London or outside London. So we're getting close, and you've absolutely handheld us on that journey, Jules, on every level. Creating the beautiful visuals for the rooms and the look and feel. So there's very much your stamp on that building. So that was a collective bold view, I reckon.
I think it's, I'm really excited about opening. I think one of the things that, happens when you go through a form of cancer is, there is a lot of loneliness. And even if there's not the loneliness, you're surrounded by people. It's hard to sometimes explain and understand. So for me, the Future Dreams house opening is going to be really pivotal to helping thousands and thousands of people just feel cared for, kindness, and actually know how to start helping and controlling themselves in really difficult situations. So when do you think it's going to open?
So with the first lockdown, we got pushed back by about 3 months. And where we thought we might open Christmas last year, that got pushed back to spring this year with Brexit and lockdown 3. I should imagine, Julia, it will be September, October now. I think, that would be a more realistic opening time. And maybe it's meant to be because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. And that's, just, something to really celebrate that we've achieved our goal, our boldest idea, and to open then. So we're pushing it along as much as we can. Obviously, we can't go on site at the moment because of here we are in London. So we're trying everything to get a hopeful now autumn open.
I think one of the things that I really admire about Future Dreams is there's sort of smaller but also brilliantly bold ideas as well about how you've pivoted. And one of the things that I really enjoyed being part of and actually bid on and won something, as we know, is the Future Dreams online auction. I'd love you to talk a bit about that, because effectively with all the events being cancelled, which is your biggest fundraiser, the online auction has been, I'd imagine, pretty critical to supplying funds this year to get the charity going and to support all these things that you do. So I'd love to hear a bit more about that. And I want a painting. I can talk about my painting after.
This was. So we were very concerned that we had to cancel all our physical events, which bring us an enormous revenue, which we don't have. In fact, the pandemic has annihilated us in this element. So a previous colleague went to work for a virtual reality design company, and we had a conversation one day saying, what can we do that's virtual that people will turn up for? And as you know, in 2020, home improvements, looking at people's houses, art seemed to be an industry that was doing, quite well. People were buying art because they were at home and they were improving their home. And it's something that you don't necessarily have to turn up for. It's an online event. And so we created a virtual art gallery, and we worked with two creators from Weedle Art. And then we went out. We have a lot of ambassadors at Future Dreams, and it was Simon Emmett, a photographer. He had been asked to donate some photography. His mum lives with secondaries, and he's absolutely devoted to Future Dreams. And he said, "Why aren't you guys doing something in art?" He kind of planted this seed. So again, the small team that we are ran with the idea, and we ended up being supported by Sky Arts for sponsorship, and Weedle Art, and a property company called TK International. So we developed all brand new relationships. We had photography and fine art. We were really fortunate to have the support of Gideon Rubin and Rob Unit and Chantal Joff and the Victoria Miro Gallery. And we gave it a go. We threw everything, our heart and soul into it, and we ended up raising £70,000. And it's a brand new revenue for us and a brand new virtual event. And it got some really lovely press. So that just came out of what are we doing? How do we get some income in? And there's a thirst for it again this year. So it's in the calendar for November this year, and we've got some really fabulous artists on board and some of the existing artists. So yeah, we're really excited about the art event, and feel very grateful for the people like yourself who started bidding wars. It was very exciting. We had two national portrait artists of the year from Sky Arts. I think that was the one you went for, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I mean, I went in to bid on. I bid on three, and one of the ones I really liked was you get a self-portrait one, which I'm actually going to get for my mum. She doesn't know it yet, for her birthday. Lovely. So basically, Mum's going to go on a Zoom call in the next week or two, not realising, and then get her portrait for her birthday. So I'm just, I can't wait to do that. I know Sam said do it for yourself, but I just can't. It's just not my nature. I need it for my mum.
Your mum will love it.
She will absolutely love it. I think one of the things that, working with, for many, many years, as you know, Sam, I've ran my own business, and I'd sort of got diagnosed myself with breast cancer in 2014. And I met Sam in the room through my friend Jackie Belteru, who works at Sky Sports, and Melissa Ozenbash at the bikini launch. And Sam invited me to, be part of the charity in some way. And I remember going to a first meeting. We were doing the Roundhouse in Camden to raise some money for the big event, which was amazing. And I walked into the gala board meeting, and I was just amazed at how many people were supporting the charity, and not just, anybody, everybody, but incredibly busy people, women and men, from, Philippa Brown, who heads up Omnicom, to, I think it was Nishma from Google, name a few others, some I can't remember. But I actually remember feeling incredibly humbled and actually a bit embarrassed for years. I'd not actually taken time out of my life to do anything like that. And because of that, fell in love with the charity and everything that you do. I mean, who are your ambassadors? There's such a support around you.
We have amazing support. I'm really excited to share with you today is we've got a new CEO starting. We'll be announcing her tomorrow as well. She's come out of law, and her name is Nikki Richmond, another amazing woman. And she has been working with Future Dreams for 2 years, and she just said she just absolutely felt part of something from the beginning, and that was the atmosphere around that table before the Roundhouse Gala. And the ambassadors who have joined us from, the incredible Melissa Oderbash, who has designed 5 collections with Future Dreams for post-surgery swimwear for women. Her sister had breast cancer, so she has been wanting to do this for a long time. I mean, Kate Middleton and Rita Ora and Kate Moss all wear her bikinis, but she wants every woman who post-surgery to feel, confident and to have, some self-love and to know that she would create something that would fit them and make them feel good after their breast cancer journey. We have the lovely Melissa Hemsley. She's absolutely has been instrumental in helping us design the kitchen at Future Dreams House. We have trustees, Mish Gondarea, Dean Poster. He's really helped actually with the journey with Melissa Oderbash. Joe Franks, oncoplastic surgeon at UCLH in the Wellington, and she's been very instrumental also in the bold thinking around Future Dreams House, because she knows through her patients that this is going to be a surface that's going to make an enormous difference to their breast cancer journey. Philippa's now CEO of PhD Media. We have Vera Ora, Rita Ora's mum. She's a breast cancer survivor. She's a psychiatrist. She works on the NHS. Mel C, she performed in our 10-year anniversary, as well as Paloma Faith in 2018, where we sold 2,500 tickets and celebrated 10 years of Future Dreams. I mean, when I start talking like this, it all feels like, was that a dream? Did we actually do that? And I think what I don't mind doing is I don't mind going out to anyone, because I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for Future Dreams. I've got nothing to lose. And it seems to be that when people say yes, they join the family. And we're more like a family, I think, than a charity. I think everyone's voice is important. Even to the care packages, we had a lot of women write to us after, making suggestions, and we've actioned them all, and then they've come on to do other projects with us. So it's, if you want to be involved in Future Dreams in any way, any idea, crazy, practical, we just try and action them. And I think that's from being small and nimble. We can just go with it.
So how optimistic are you for the future, and what's going to take for the charity to survive in the future?
Our fundraising has been annihilated. I mean, this is, I'm very rarely negative. I am concerned because we can't have one physical event this year, really. You can't, you can have plan A and plan B. But I think it's always going to be plan B in 2021, because physical events are very problematic, and we don't know what hospitality is like. We'd really like more people to know about Future Dreams. I still think we've been the wind under people's other charities' wings for a long time, but now we're doing so much more than just support, awareness and research. So we need our story to be shared more, people to know about us, people to come on board, to be friends of Future Dreams, even if it was yearly donations, to support a care package, to sponsor a room in Future Dreams House, to turn up for our events, just some income, from people whose lives have been touched by breast cancer or just feel emotional and passionate about the work that we do and to discover us. I am worried, Julia, because, I just feel that we're constantly having to think of alternative ways of bringing income in, and that is challenging. And we've got an enormous responsibility of 20 years with Future Dreams House. We're super lucky to have a wonderful relationship with Estee Lauder companies, and they have helped us with a grant towards the house. And these are the kind of relationships that we also would really like to kind of grow. And Anna Bartle from Estee Lauder has been behind Future Dreams from the start. It was actually originally Chris Good, the CEO. He's gone on to run North America now. But, corporates, we run a lunch and learn service. We do it via Zoom now, where we share awareness. We're working very closely now with the Met Police. A deputy superintendent had breast cancer last year, and she's working alongside Future Dreams to help us. So there's lots of ideas and lots of new people coming, but income is really tricky revenue to come in during a pandemic. And we don't want to stop what we're doing. We don't want to stop the care packages. We don't want to not open Future Dreams House. But we do need maybe a stronger identity so people come on board and donate.
Yeah, I think it's really tricky at the moment. And I think the interesting thing is, I think if people understood the absolute benefits that charity gives to people. I've been there where the care packages have been shared on the chemo wards, and, anyone that's going through chemo at the moment, you're literally on your own. You go into the chemo ward, you're on your own, having a really stressful situation. And, I was on there a few weeks ago, and you sort of see the packages come round, and it's just such a massive difference. It just shows, you're really not forgotten about in the world. So thanks, Sam, for joining us today. You've been absolutely amazing, and I've just got so admiration. I'm actually sitting here incredibly emotional now. It's just, so important that we care and we're kind and help each other in society. So thank you everyone for listening to Bold Thinking, Entrepreneurial Stories Honestly Told. If this episode has got you thinking, share your comments on LinkedIn, Twitter or Instagram, and go onto the Future Dreams website and please donate to the charity in any way, shape or form, or if there's any way you can get involved. Would absolutely love that. Or contact us at hello@thehonestbrand.com. So join me next to hear from someone else who's making positive change in the world. Take care. Bye-bye.